We are counting down to Sunday's big game. The New England Patriots taking on the Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 51. And in this year's spectacle, the focus is just as much on politics as it is on football, especially when it comes to the connection between the Patriots and President Donald Trump. In an interview on Friday morning, the team's owner, Robert Kraft, explained his unique friendship with the president.
Well, over 20 years ago, we've been friends, and I never really did business, but just had a personal relationship, and he's been great to me over those last 2 decades. And I had the privilege of going to Melania and his wedding, and in the toughest time in my life, he was there for me when my beloved wife died 5.5 years ago. And he came to the funeral with Melania. He visited me at my home Memorial Week. He called me once a week for a year. How are you doing? I was really depressed, and he invited me to things, and he looked out after me, and only 4 or 5 people did that to that extent. So I'm loyal to my friends. I remember who the people are there when the tough times are there.
Mark Leibovich is chief national correspondent for the New York Times Magazine, and he joins me now. So, Mark, you write about this extensively, this connection between the Patriots and President Trump in your latest piece for the New York Times Magazine, and it's called The Uncomfortable Love Affair Between Donald Trump and the New England Patriots. And you write, quote, "No sports team has been more closely associated with the new president, or perhaps any president, at least since Richard Nixon very publicly adopted the Washington Redskins as his own. The 3 main architects of the team's success, Kraft, Belichick, and Brady, have taken pains to emphasize that their allegiance to Trump is based on friendship and loyalty, nothing more. Kraft and Belichick have been relatively open about their allegiance to Trump, but Brady has been less forthcoming. So what's he worried about?"
Well, I mean, I think Brady, first of all, I would say that Belichick has been not terribly public about it. The only reason he talked about his friendship with Donald Trump was because he wrote Trump what he thought was a private letter right before the campaign ended, congratulating him and praising him for how he conducted himself. And then Trump, being Trump, went and read the letter publicly at a campaign rally in New Hampshire. So Belichick then the next day had to address it, and he was pretty sheepish about it. He would rather have been talking about the next opponent. But having said that, I mean, he does have a lot of history, golfing, visiting Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump. Brady, I mean, both Brady and Belichick would say that they are apolitical. Football is their priority, and you would sort of expect them to say that. But the fact is, they do. I mean, Donald Trump has been a very public celebrity and sort of socialite and just sort of public person for a very, very long time. And like a lot of these folks, he accumulates friends who are also at very high levels of success. And I think this is what you have here. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's uncomfortable because, first of all 6 New England states voted for Hillary Clinton. And politics, and Donald Trump specifically, is a very, very polarizing topic around sports, especially when you marry it with a franchise like the Patriots, who are also very polarizing. I mean, either you love them or hate them. Like Donald Trump, they've sort of grounded themselves on a success story. And here you have this uncomfortable marriage then.
Yeah, so, Mark, is President Trump a Patriots fan, or does he just like hanging around winners?
Well, I mean, I think he likes dropping prominent names, especially names of people who win and who are publicly, supportive of him. My sense is that Donald Trump is not a big X's and O's guy. I mean, he did own the New Jersey Generals of the USFL back in the 80s.
Don't remind us.
And that was sort of that was a bit of an ill-fated experience, and there's a lot of checkered history there that's been pretty well documented. But no, I mean, my sense is, like a lot of things with Donald Trump, he likes the spectacle of it. He likes the event of it. He likes I think he likes the violence of football. I don't think he's terribly in the weeds, but he just likes to go to games. I mean, he's on the Patriots sideline, a number of times over the years. He has a lot of NFL owner friends. I assume a number of them contributed to his campaign. Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, is nominated to be his next ambassador to the Court of St. James in Great Britain, and this is after he was one of his campaign finance chairs. So, I mean, there's a lot of history there, and like, frankly, billionaires stick together. So this is not something I can personally speak about, but you can sort of see it from the outside.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I mean, look, we're talking about sports here, and I haven't heard New Yorkers saying that they're not going to go to Jets games because Woody Johnson has been nominated to the Court of St. James. On the other hand,
no, they have other reasons not to go to Jets
right,
games.
Exactly. I'm a Giants fan, so I never go to a Jets game.
Okay.
But
there you go.
But listen, New York Magazine also had an article out this week saying, in essence, that the Patriots are Trump's team. But they went a little further, Mark, and I want to get your take on this. They talked about the fact that Donald Trump, when Congressman John Lewis, who represents parts of Atlanta, did not go to his inauguration. Donald Trump tweeted, Congressman John Lewis should spend more time on fixing and helping his district, which is in horrible shape and falling apart, not to mention crime infested. And he went on to say all these things. Obviously, many people in Atlanta, including the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, fact-checked him and said Atlanta doesn't even rank near the top 10 cities for crime. So there are people that are saying, look, there's a little bit more to this than even just the fact that Robert Kraft may be a friend of President Trump's. It's that the Falcons represent those folks who Donald Trump belittled in his tweets, although, as you point out, New England pretty much went to Hillary Clinton.
Well, it did, and I think, you know, Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, and Tom Brady would be the first three to you know, say that they are not members of Congress. You know, Bob Kraft would say that he's given a lot of money to a lot of Democratic candidates over the years. Bill Belichick, when he was called out for allegedly supporting Donald Trump during the campaign, pointed out that John Kerry, a Democrat, is a friend of his and is often in the Patriots locker room. So you can go back and forth. I mean, I don't know if you can be so so kind of black and white and say, you know, John Lewis over here, you know, the Patriots owners over here. But clearly, a lot of Patriots fans who are also big detractors of Donald Trump are somewhat uncomfortable with this arrangement and kind of wish that this could be a football-only experience and they could bar politics at the gate, which is what a lot of people who like sports like to do to begin with. So I think in that sense, it's a very awkward match.
Yeah, and we showed a picture earlier of Tom Brady's locker where you could see the Make America Great hat. Don't know the circumstances and how that ended up in there.
Well, apparently Kraft put it in there.
Oh, is that right?
He has been publicly credited or blamed for doing that, and I, you know, knowing Brady a little bit, I think that he would love this not to be a piece of public information, but there it was, so this is where we are today.
That's a good piece of information. All right, finally, you went to visit Trump at his National Golf Club in Rancho Palos Verdes, California. You wrote about that in your article. Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, what I did this week is essentially an old journalism trick. When you have stuff from an interview that you did even, you know, a year or two ago, like which I do from Trump, which all of a sudden becomes relevant, you just sort of use it. And I wrote a profile of Trump in September, October, I forget when, of 2015, back during the primaries, spent a lot of time with him. And he knew that I had written a profile of Brady a few months before, so he kept dropping Brady's name more than he might have otherwise. He, you know, kept telling me I should call Brady, I should talk to Brady about how great a golfer Donald Trump is. And so he was showing me around his course. This is right before the, I think, a presidential debate out at the Reagan Library. And he asked my photographer, our photographer, Damon Winter, who had also shot the Brady piece, he said, who has a better body, me or Tom Brady? And presumably he didn't really want to have an answer. And I don't remember Damon answering the question, but it was itself something I remember from it. So, yeah, I mean, again, this is sort of a famous guy. This is the kind of friendship where they call each other after they win Super Bowls or win primaries or win the White House or, you know, go to their elite golf clubs. And again, this is not a world I've been part of recently, but you never know, I could win a Super Bowl one day.
Yeah, right. And Mark Leibovich, you are at the site of the Super Bowl, NRG Stadium. So who are you rooting for, Mark? I mean, you're from Boston, but you went to Michigan.
I grew up in New England.
You went to Michigan. Didn't Tom Brady go to Michigan?
Yeah, me and Tom have the exact same life. You know, I also married a supermodel. We look a lot alike. So, you know, I think it would only, I mean, the synergy is complete. I think it's only natural that I would root for the Patriots. I'm rooting for a good game. I've never actually been to a Super Bowl before, so this is a first for me. So, you know, hopefully it'll be a good game. I think everyone, I imagine, I don't know. I mean, I imagine much of America is rooting for Atlanta just because they're more of an underdog, and I assume the Trump factor probably figures into this too. But who knows? You know, maybe a lot of red state fans or new Patriot fans over this. So Donald Trump, like so many things in America and like so many things in the NFL, is sort of a black and white figure.
For sure. Mark Leibovich, to us, you look great. We love having you.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Good to be here.
Thanks, man.